Western Australia is a pretty unique place. There's a lot of stuff here that you can't find anywhere else, but one little guy that doesn't get a lot of publicity is Lepidosperma gibsoni, a plant so rare that it can only be found on Mount Gibson, a valuable iron ore reserve in Western Australia. The iron ore mine may mean the plant's days are numbered, so this is where our brave plant biologist Mark Wallace comes in. Mark's research is important for learning all we can about Lepidosperma gibsoni. To learn a bit more about his research and what it's like to be a scientist, I went to the Biodiversity Conservation Centre in Kings Park to find out. But before finding out about Mark's research, I wanted to know why he chose to become a scientist.
Well, I've always been interested in science. Science was my favourite subject at school, particularly biology. So I studied it at school, and I went to the University of Wollongong to study psychology there, which is a kind of science, I guess. But I decided that I wanted to get more involved in hard science, the real science. So I came to the University of Western Australia to study botany. And I studied botany because my mum's always been interested in plants. She did an agricultural science degree. She likes gardening and I liked gardening as well, so here I am.
But what about Mark's actual research? A big part of Mark's research is determining what is called the DNA sequence of different species of plants. A DNA sequence is the specific order that the base pairs of DNA occur in. These base pairs are called adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine, and their positions and order are responsible for how the DNA is able to produce a variety of molecules which are vital to the inner workings of an organism. By determining the DNA sequence of pollen spores which are found in rocks, Mark can determine the evolutionary history of a species of plant. The results that Mark gets are very complex. Each of the letters on the screen represents a different DNA base pair, so you can imagine the huge computer power that Mark needs to employ in his research. How does this relate to Lepidosperma gibsoni?
So at the moment we're researching these plants because of the impact of mining. The hill that they grow on will be largely removed to extract the iron.
And so what does Mark hope to achieve with his research in plant biology, and where does he want to end up in a few years' time?
So by the end of this research, I hope to know a lot more about these plants. They're very important plants. They're rare, but they're also quite common in Western Australia. So by the end of my PhD, maybe 2 more years, I'd like to go and work in Europe for a few years and get some experience overseas, and then come back and keep doing research in Western Australia because they just have great plants here.